Hi, everybody. Hope everybody's doing good. Uh, yeah.
Good morning,
Good
sir.
morning. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. How many we have? One, two, three, four. We have only four of you. Maybe we'll wait for maybe 2, 3 more minutes. Let your friends join, and then we'll start.
Good morning, sir.
Morning. Good morning. Okay. I think we'll start. We have 5 people, right? So let your friends join whenever they want to join. Say, let me share my screen.
Good morning,
Okay.
sir.
Good morning. Good morning. Maybe we'll just see what we saw last class, and then it'll make some sense. So the last class we had was on 18th, no, right? We had a class after that. Today is 31st. 31st minus 7 is how much? Did we have, or yeah, I forgot to add up this thing. Okay, yes, this one only. Right, so we'll just have a quick recap of whatever we saw last class. Right, so we were talking about acid reactivity, how it reacts with something else, right? So we started with, actually we saw so many other things before. This is the third reaction. Like, so this reaction talks about how acids react with metal carbonates or bicarbonates, right? So I told you the first thing you have to understand is metal carbonates and metal bicarbonates are weakly basic in nature. They're little basic in nature, right? So I gave you examples: milk of magnesia, which is used as antacid, that is nothing but magnesium carbonate, right? Okay. So now what would you expect is almost a acid-base reaction, that is an neutralization reaction is what will you expect, right? So now, but there'll be only one extra thing which is coming out whenever you have an acid and a bicarbonate or carbonate reacts, right? So you'll see, say for example, the overall reaction is acid plus a bicarbonate will give you a salt plus water. The extra only one thing would be carbon dioxide level. Other than that, it is a normal neutralization reaction, right? Okay, so now if you look at the reaction here, say HCl reacting with Na2CO3 will form NaCl, salt, H2O, and carbon dioxide. Same goes with all the other reactions, right? HNO3 plus CaCO3, H2SO4 plus NaHCO3. All you have to understand is what kind of salt is getting formed here. Okay, next. Next, obviously, the most important reaction, that is neutralization reaction, that is reaction of acids and bases, right? Okay, so now we have to understand that it is very highly exothermic, right? And the amount of heat evolved is actually going to depend on the strength of the acid and strength of the base used. Okay, anyways, we'll come back to that maybe, right? Say now we saw so many reactions, so we didn't concentrate much on this, right? So it's just going to be acid plus base going to give you salt plus water. Very simple, right? And we saw one more new acid, HCl. It's called cyanic acid, right? Same thing. And then, yeah, we saw one more, carbonic acid. I told you these are the ones responsible for your acid rain. Hope you all remember that, right? And then what is this? Yeah, so some question was asked. I think it was H2O. I told you is amphiprotic in the sense that it will be able to accept H plus as well as release H plus, depending on what is the other substance which is there. For example, if I have an acid like HCl, right, H2O is going to act as a H plus acceptor, right? But when I have a base, H2O is going to act as a, I think it's not here. And if I have a base, right, H2O will act as a H plus donor because the base will be the one which will accept the H plus, right? So water, that's why we say that it is amphiprotic. Okay, fine. Now, when we went on to see what are bases, right? Already we saw the three theories, right? What are the physical properties? Bitter in taste, soapy to touch, it turns red litmus blue. The aqueous solutions are conductors. That's very, very important. You should not say bases are conductors. You should tell that the aqueous solutions of the bases are conductors of electricity, right? And they are a little corrosive also, but not as corrosive as in the case of acids, right? And then we went on to see how exactly what are conductors, what are the essential conditions for something to be a conductor, because that's just because someone asked how is it, right? Okay, so we should have some free charges. Free charges in the charges are capable of moving, right? I told you there can be two types of conductors, electronic conductors and electrolytic conductors. Electronic conductors are normally what we have, metal like copper, iron, aluminum, gold, silver. All these are normal metal conductors. Those are electronic conductors. So what you have to understand is that there the charge carriers are going to be electrons, right? The electrons which are loosely bound, right, will be able to move inside the conductor conducting electricity, right? And the next part is my electrolytic conductor, and that's where the aqueous solutions comes, right? So here the charge carriers are going to be ions. Say Na plus and OH minus ions will be there. It will be responsible for the conduction, not electrons. Okay, fine. So okay, this and all are some doubts, I guess. Okay, and yeah, remember that ions are not produced in solids and liquid state. Only in gaseous state and in aqueous solutions ions are produced. Okay, right, this and all you have to remember. Then we went on to see what are the classifications of acid based on strength. Again, same thing, extent of dissociation. More and more is the extent of dissociation, more and more the strength of the base, right? But here we don't have much categorization here, right? We have only three bases which are strong: NaOH, KOH, and CaOH twice. All the other bases, all the other hydroxides will come under weak: MgOH twice, AlOH twice, CuOH twice, FeOH twice, all of them, right, will come under weak bases, right? Okay, then we saw based on concentration, concentrated and dilute acids. We know what are these, right? Okay, next based on acidity. Now we know what is acidity, right? It is the number of OH minus ions which can come from a single molecule of a base, right? So we know monoacidic base, NaOH, KOH, diacidic or biacidic base, 2OH minus, it should give say CaOH twice and MgOH twice. Triacidic, I can have AlOH thrice, right? Okay. Excuse me. Excuse me. Yeah, so then we wanted to see chemical properties, right? As I told, bases does not have that much chemical properties when compared to acids, right? Say we start with action with non-metallic oxides. Now we already mentioned that metallic oxides are basic in nature. We even proved them, how it works, right? Same way, non-metallic oxides are acidic in nature. And this is what is going to important thing about acids, right? Say any non-metal, say sulfur, carbon, all these are non-metals. Okay, so whenever their oxides react with water, you will always end up with an acid. See, SO3 reacts with water to form H2SO4, right? So obviously this SO3 is a pollutant which will be coming from the factory smoke or from a vehicle smoke, right? Same goes with CO2. CO2 will again react with H2O to form carbonic acid, right? Same other things can be N2O, SO2, all of them. It forms N2O forms HNO3, SO2 forms H2SO3. Again, a new acid, guys, sulfurous acid, right? Sulfuric is H2SO4. Sulfurous is H2SO3, right? So all these are responsible. All these gases SO2, I mean SO3, N2O, all these responsible for pollution, acid rain, right? And obviously, again, it proves that non-metallic oxides are acidic in nature. Once you dissolve them in water, what you're going to get is an actual acid itself, which is capable of producing H plus, right? Okay. Now, obviously, it's going to be neutralization reaction because base is a base. Non-metallic oxides are acidic in nature, right? So obviously, it is going to be a normal neutralization reaction, right? So it's going to be salt plus water. So this is the example. NaOH plus SO3 if you have, it is going to form a salt, Na2SO4 plus water molecule is produced, right? Okay, next. And yeah, so there are certain oxides which are neutral also, people, right? One of the very good example you can have is carbon monoxide. Carbon monoxide is neutral, neither acid nor basic. Okay, right. Next, we went on to see what happens if I have bases reacting with metals, right? So generally they won't react. That's what he said, mostly no reaction, right? But only two elements, that is two metals, are capable of capable of reacting with base. Those are Zn, that is zinc and aluminium. Okay. Now zinc and aluminum, there is something special about it, right? They are called amphoteric substances. Right? What do you mean by amphoteric is it can react with both acid as well as a base, right? So we already know metal react with an acid, right? So metal plus acid will give me salt plus hydrogen. You can remember the reaction, right? The same thing will happen if I have zinc and aluminum, right? But this zinc and aluminum is also capable of reacting with bases like NaOH, right? You already saw HCl plus zinc will give you salt, that is zinc chloride plus hydrogen gases evolved. This is normal acid we expect, right? But it can also react with NaOH, right? So it will form sodium zincate plus H2. So here also you can see if it's aluminium, it is going to form sodium aluminate Na2AlO2 plus H2. Okay, so this is all we saw last class. Okay, any questions anybody has from previous class? Any doubts? Any clarity required from anywhere? Right, I hope everything is clear. Right, okay. So for today, we'll start. So, I mean, actually, so you guys are 10th.
1st August, sir.
Yeah, thank you. 1st August. So it is 108, right?
Yes, sir.
Great. Okay, good. So we'll start. So what other chemical properties of bases we have? Nothing. We have completed everything. Okay, base is also completed, right? Obviously, one of the reaction would be acid plus base that we already saw, right? Now I told you in a neutralization reaction, right? I told you that it is highly exothermic. That means what? When I have an acid and a base reacting, acid plus base reacts to form salt plus water plus lot of amount of heat is getting generated. Okay, plus lot of amount of heat will get generated. Right now, this amount of heat, right? Obviously, it will be in terms of joules, right? It is the energy, right? Heat energy. So it will be in terms of joules, right? Now, depending on what acid you use and what base you use, right? This amount of heat will keep on varying. Okay, now please understand, if I use a strong acid and a strong base, SA and SB represent strong acid and a strong base, there'll be very high amount of heat, very high heat, large amount of heat is produced. Right? Say if I have to give you a number, say if I have HCl and NaOH reacting, obviously I'll form NaCl plus H2O is produced. Okay, so if I have to give you the exact number, the heat produced. Hope you remember this delta H. What is this delta H called as, people? Anybody remembers? What is the name of this delta H? What is this? I told you, right, in first chapter. Anybody remembers this? What is this delta H?
Sir, the total heat or net heat?
Net heat, correct. It's in the we're talking about it, but then specific name I told, right? Delta H. Anybody remembers? I hope everybody is there. Like, so many people were remaining. Okay, we have 8 people. Cool. Right. So yeah. Do anybody remembers what is this delta H? The name exactly. Obviously, it talks about either heat released or heat absorbed. Okay. but there is a name to this, right? And this delta H, what is this? Remember, anybody remembers?
Sir, enthalpy.
Ah, correct. Absolutely. It's called enthalpy. Nothing but energy. Okay, but just a specific name we can give. We will study more about this when you come to 11th class. Okay, now this delta H can be negative or positive, right? Now for this particular reaction, like, can you tell me whether it will be positive or negative? It can be either positive or negative, right? Now, which case it is positive, which case it is negative? Hmm. Or any guesses? It can also be a guess, not a big deal. You don't have
Sir,
to know it
negative
exactly.
and exothermic.
Ah, correct. So it should be for exothermic reaction, delta H value is negative, right? Now always remember, heat lost will always be a negative value. So if I tell that 5 joules of heat is coming out, I will tell the value as minus 5 joules. Okay, this minus indicates that the heat is released. Okay, but if I say 5 joules of heat is absorbed, then I will tell that the value is plus 5 joules. Okay, this is for an endothermic reaction. Okay, so whenever heat is lost, the value of energy should be negative. Whenever heat is absorbed, then it is positive. Okay, so in this case, now I have an exothermic reaction. Obviously, as I told you, so this is going to be a negative value. Okay, so if you look at the negative value, it is approximately 53 kilojoules, in the sense that 53,000 joules. Okay, now you see this, I know HCl is a very strong acid. I know it's a strong base. Now you look at the number. Okay, now say if I have HCl reacting with a weak base, like say aluminum hydroxide. Right? I know aluminum hydroxide is a weak base. This is a strong acid, right? So obviously I'm going to form some salt and water, but what I want to say is the delta H value would be lesser than this. Say it will be, say, minus 48,000 joules. That's what you will get, right? You can see that. Why? Because in this case, I have a strong acid, strong base. In this case, I have a strong acid, but I have a weak base present. So the value gets reduced, right? Now say if I have, say H2CO3 reacting with NH4OH, ammonium hydroxide, this is. Okay, now this is a weak acid, this is a weak base. Again, it will form salt and water. But if you look at the delta H, it will be around, say, only 20,000, minus 20,000 joules, right? So as the strength of the acid and base keeps on decreasing, the amount of energy released also keeps on decreasing. Okay, this you can remember, very, very simple. Okay, strong acid, strong base, you always have a constant value of 53,000. But if the strength of the any one of them reduces, or if both of them reduces, right, I'm going to have more and more lesser and lesser values of delta H. That is the amount of heat released. Okay, so this also you can understand. This also you can remember. Okay, good point to remember. Right? Okay, fine. So that's about the acids and bases, right? So today we'll try to concentrate on salts. Right? Okay, fine. People, we already know how salts are produced. We saw almost all the reactions which we saw in earlier cases, all of them produce salt. Okay, right? Fine. So before we want to see, like, anyways, basically the best way to produce salt is through the neutralization reaction. Is it not? Right? Acid and a base reacts. You can form whatever be the salt which you want to form. Right? Okay. Now, salts can be categorized into 4 types. Okay. Say I have something called as acidic salts. I have basic salts. I have neutral salts. And I have something called as amphoteric salts. We know what is amphoteric now. Right? Amphoteric is both acidic and basic, right? Both acidic and basic, or what is called as amphoteric substances, right? So this and all you understand: acidic salt, basic salt, neutral salt. I think from the name itself we can understand what are these. Okay, the next question comes: all these salts, whatever be, forget about amphoteric salts, we're not going to concentrate much on this. Okay, not at your level, not for 10th. Okay, but we will concentrate on these 3. right? So anyways, whatever be the type of salt, everything is produced only through neutralization reaction, correct? Right? So all you have to understand is you are going to tune the strength of the acid and the base used so that you will be able to get different types of salts. Okay, right? Now look at this. For example, if I want to if I want to study about an acidic salt, how an acidic salt is formed. Okay, so again, acidic salt is formed from a neutralization reaction, right? So it's very simple, right? So what I have to understand is for an acidic salt to be formed, I should mix a strong acid with a weak base. Hope you all get the logic here. I want the overall salt to be acidic, right? So that is why I'm using a strong acid and a weak base to form an acidic salt. Okay, because obviously the weak base will not dominate, but the acid will dominate because it is strong. So eventually the salt form will also be acidic in nature. That means the acidic nature is dominating. Okay, right. Now guys, in the questions I will not give you whether it's an acidic or basic salt. Just by looking at the salt, you should tell whether the salt is acidic or basic. Okay, we will train you for that. Right, fine. So let us try to take some example. Acidic salt. Say I take any strong acid, say HCl is a strong acid, right? Say any weak base we can take. Weak base we can take, say I take magnesium hydroxide. Okay, right? Weak base I take is magnesium hydroxide. Now what will happen? This HCl and magnesium hydroxide will react, and tell me what are the products here? Can someone tell me what are the products formed? Okay, I think it's better that everybody, I want the answer to be in the chat box. What are the products here? Okay, 2 products, obviously, right? So yeah, just tell me, put it in the chat box and everybody try to participate. Okay, will the salt then have acidic properties? Sanyu, what are you trying to ask? Okay. Yeah. Yes. Go on. Come on. Everybody participate. Only 2 answers I got till now. Okay. 3 answers till now. That's it. 4 answers. Okay. I know I have 8 people, 7 people. With 7 people, is if the salt is acidic, then we'll have acidic properties. Not exactly. Yeah, acidic properties it will have. Their pH. We'll study about the pH. The indicators. Those will tell you that this is little acidic in nature. But if you ask me that, sir, will it have what to say? The exact chemical properties and physical properties compared to acids, the answer is no. Okay, but yeah, some properties can be similar if the salt is acidic. Okay, Sanyu Kumar, right? Okay, cool. So yeah, almost all of you got the answers very correctly, right? So obviously this H plus and OH minus will form H2O. Very simple, right? So what is remaining? Mg and Cl. But if you write MgCl, it's absolutely wrong. Mg2 plus Cl minus 2 will come here, 1 will come here. So the salt formed is magnesium chloride. Okay, right, fine. Now, see, just by looking at the salt, I told you that you will be able to predict whether the salt is acidic or basic, right? Now, for that, what you have to understand is by looking at the salt, for example, let me give you this. Say I give you, what should I give you? Say aluminium nitrate thrice. Okay, this is the salt. Okay, aluminium nitrate. Okay, now can you tell me what should have been the acid and what should have been the base for me to form aluminum nitrate? Obviously, water molecule is produced. Okay, so for me to produce aluminum nitrate, what should have been the acid? What should have been the base? Again, put in the chat box, people. Everybody participate. what is the acid used, what is the base used for me to produce aluminum nitrate? You can put the answer in the chat box. Aluminum nitrate, what is the acid used? What is the base used? Think about it. Guys, once again, I'll just switch off my video. You just put aluminium and C, aluminium HNO3. Think about it. Think about it. Right? Come on, everybody participate. It doesn't matter whether you're right or wrong. Only if you make mistakes, everybody will correct it. I'm there to correct you. Come on, everybody participate. Guys, I just have to actually stop the video because someone has come to clean the house. Okay, so but still I'll be in the class, but just my video will be off. Please don't mind. Yeah. Anyways, come on, everybody, continue, participate. What should have been the acid? What should have been the base? I need, but come on, the spirit should not be like this. Even if it's wrong, everybody should participate, doesn't it? Doesn't matter whether you're right or wrong. Someone want to say something? Okay, see, look at this. Remember this part. Okay, from a salt, the anion comes from acid, right? And the cation comes from the base. Okay, right? Say you can look at here. For previous example, what happened? Cl minus came from where? It came from HCl. And where did the cation come from? Mg2 plus. Mg2 plus came from the base, right? So this you can always remember, or any reaction you take, any reaction for that matter, say in this case you take NaCl, right? Where is it coming? Cl minus coming from HCl and Na plus coming from NaOH, that is the base, right? So this if you understand, then now you can answer your question.
Can you repeat
now,
once more?
Sure. What I'm telling is any salt you have, right? Obviously it would have been produced from an acid and a base. Okay, so salt will have a cation and anion, that is a positive charge and negative charge, right? So always remember that the anion comes from the acid part, right? And the cation comes from the base part. I think you can understand from this example or any other example you can take. Anyways, look at this. So I have magnesium chloride. I know the cation and anion are Mg2 plus and Cl minus. Okay, Cl minus comes from where? Cl minus comes from HCl, that is my acid. So you can say anion comes from acid. This is the anion, right? Same way, Mg2 plus comes from where? This is the cation, it comes from the base. That is what I'm trying to say here. So if this you understand, then now easily you can answer the question. Now anybody can try and tell me the answer. Aluminium nitrate, you know what is the cation, what is the anion, right? Now can you tell me what would have been the acid, what would have been the base? Come on, now you can participate. Or anybody wants to open the mic and tell, they can do that also. Still no guesses. You want me to help you guys, or are you finding it so difficult? Fine. Okay. One thing this time I'll help you. Let me see. Okay. So now look at this. Aluminium is there. Now aluminium, or say the ions, what we'll write first. Okay. So basically I would have had Al3 plus and NO3 minus nitrate. Okay. Now I told you this is the anion. So this would have come from the acid part. This is the cation. This would have come from the base part. Okay. Now what you do is this to this anion, whatever the anion you have, you just add H plus to this. Okay. So what will happen? Now it would have formed HNO3. Same way, now this Al3 plus I told you would have come from base. So to this Al3 plus you add OH minus. So what would have happened? You would have formed aluminium hydroxide. So what should have been the acid in the base? The acid would have been HNO3. The base would have been aluminium hydroxide. Only then you would have formed aluminium nitrate as your salt. Right? Can I get a yes from everybody if you understood? That you can do, right? Can I get a yes?
Sir. Yes,
One,
sir.
2. Okay, others,
Sir, can
everybody
you
okay?
repeat, sir?
Exactly. This is what is the spirit. If you don't understand, it's your responsibility to ask, and it is my responsibility to tell you. Okay, I'll repeat again. So the thing is, we understood that aluminum nitrate is formed. I told you that the salt will contain both cation and anion. Cation comes from base, anion comes from acid. Right? Okay, now look at this. What are the ions present here? Aluminium 3 plus and NO3 minus. Correct. Right. So what I'm telling is, whatever be the anion, you add H plus to this. Okay. How many H plus you add? Again, that will be a question. Generally, you will try to add H plus. You will get the idea actually if you add H plus, what kind of acid you're going to get. Right. So if I add H plus to NO3 minus, what will happen? H plus NO3 minus would have formed HNO3. Right. Same way, you add aluminium, you have aluminium 3 plus cation. I told you it is going to come from the base. So what you do is you add OH minus. So what will happen? You're going to form aluminium hydroxide, AlOH thrice. Right? So the base should have been aluminium hydroxide and the acid should have been HNO3. Yes, understood? Right? Everybody's okay? Whoever
Yes, sir.
asked, okay. I hope everybody's following. Everybody's following. So the thing is, if you this understand and you add this H plus and OH minus to the cation and anion, you are set. Okay, fine. Now let me ask one more salt and let me see if you can understand. Right. Okay. So I have NH4 Cl. Okay, NH4Cl. I know I should know what is the acid used and what is the base used. Go for it. Everybody try and everybody put your answers in the chat box. Okay, NH4Cl. I want to know what is the acid, what is the base. To know what is the cation. Okay, first tell me what is the cation here? What is the cation here? Okay, what is the anion here? Are you so sleepy? Sunday morning, I understand it is very difficult, but try to participate here. So what I'm telling is, in NH4Cl, what is the anion? The negative charge is what from the salt? That difficult? NH4Cl, what is the cation? What is the anion? Or at least any guesses? Okay, something is there in the chat. The answer is absolutely right, Durlov. Durlov got the answer. Right, okay. So, the cation, yeah, very good, Harita. Yes, it's correct. Okay, fine. So, okay, we'll go step by step. Now that you got the answer, Durlov and Harita, can you tell me what should have been, what is the anion here and what is the cation here in NH4Cl?
Sir, Cl is anion.
You should, whenever it's an
When
anion,
it's a
tell with,
cation.
wait. Whenever it's about a cation or an anion, you should tell with the charge. Tell me properly. Okay, now tell me, what is the anion?
So Cl minus.
Absolutely, that's the exact way of putting it. The anion is Cl minus, and the cation is, okay, you tell me, what is the cation? What is the cation? You told previously correctly. You just,
NH4 plus.
NH4 plus.
NH4 plus. What is the name of the ion? What is the name of the ion?
Ammonium, sir.
Ammonium ion, right? Okay, good. Now that we know what is the anion and what is the cation, all we have to do, understand that the anion comes from acid and the cation comes from the base, right? So what you have to do is add H plus. What will you get? HCl. Now you, for the cation, you add OH minus, you are going to get NH4OH, right? So this should have been the acid in the base for you to form NH4Cl. One more question. Let me see. As the question increases, the number of correct answers should also increase from you. Okay, fine. I want to know what is the salt and what is the acid, what is the base? Okay, yeah, go for it. So first identify what is the cation, what is the anion. You know, anion comes from base, acid, cation comes from base, right? You add H plus and OH minus to the corresponding anion and cation, you are going to get the acid. So maybe something should be there in the chat box by this time. Absolutely. Absolutely, Durlab. Durlab is correct. Come on, everybody participate. Yes, Harita, go on, correct. Again.
So what is the name of the salt, sir?
Sodium cyanide.
Okay, sir.
Right. Okay, Arman. Yes, Arman is good. Come on, everybody participate. Doesn't matter if the correct answer already came. If you knew the answer, you can always put it in the chat box. Doesn't matter whether people have already answered or not. Okay, I suppose everybody is doing good, right? Fine. So this salt is nothing but sodium cyanide. If anybody is worrying about what is the name of the salt, sodium cyanide. Okay, fine. So first, the cation and anion, right? So what is the cation here? Very simple, right? Cation would be Na plus. Okay, what is the anion?
C minus.
Tell properly.
So Cn minus.
Cn minus. Okay, cyanide ion. I told you cyanide ion is Cn minus. Okay, now once you identify this, the other step is very simple. Add H plus to the cation, anion. So you're going to get HCN. Add OH minus to the cation. You are going to get NaOH. Okay, now, okay, let me give you another case. Say I have calcium phosphate. Okay, so calcium phosphate. I want to know what is the acid and what is the base, and maybe this time I will ask somebody in person. I'm gonna call somebody and I'm gonna ask. Whom should I ask? That let me check. Okay. Atharva, are you there, Kana? Atharva?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Can you tell me? I'll help you out even if you don't understand here, but can you try for this? What is the acid and what is the base? First, we'll go step by step. Now tell me, what is the anion here?
Sir,
Sorry? Okay, or tell me what is the cation here? Any one answer. Cation, what is the cation? Atharva? Okay, no issues. Maybe I'll ask someone else. You can try in this way, Atharva. Okay. Aditi, are you there, Kana? Aditi, are you there? Okay, Aditi is there in the chat. Okay. Okay. So Aditi, so can you tell me what will be the anion and cation here? Then we'll talk about the acid and the base, Aditi. At least can you tell anyone what would have been the acid and what would have been any one, either cation or the anion? Can you tell me either one of that? In Ca3PO4 twice, this is the Ca3PO4 twice. What is the cation and what is the anion? Any one, either the cation or the anion, whichever you know, you can tell me. Calcium is the anion. Calcium, can metal be anion? Calcium is a metal, right, Aditi? So calcium should have been the cation. Okay, what exactly calcium forms? What ion it forms? Calcium, Aditi. What ion does calcium form? Sorry, I got confused with anion and positive. No problem. So yeah, tell me what is the, you said, say, I understand that you're trying to say calcium forms the cation. What is the cation formed by calcium? Aditi? So like there, say for example, if I ask you what ion Na forms, sodium forms, I say that sodium forms Na plus ion. Like that, calcium forms what ion? That's what I'm asking. Ca plus. Okay. So it forms Ca2 plus, not Ca plus. Okay. Now, if at all anybody is getting confused, I'm seeing the answers. People, almost all of you got the answers right. Okay. And say, yeah, anyways, so now how you would have gotten this is very, very important, right? How you would have gotten this formula. Now they would have had some charge on calcium, you would have had charge on the phosphate ion, and then you would have swapped it, right? So now you do the exact reverse. Now whatever the number is here, you put this to calcium, and whatever the number is here, you put this to the anion. So now this 2 will go to calcium as Ca2 plus, and this 3 will go to phosphate as PO4 3 minus. Okay, so this would have been the cation, that is Ca2 plus would have been the cation, and PO4 3 minus would have been the anion. Right? I hope everybody gets it. What I'm trying to do here, I'm trying to do the exact opposite of how do you get the formula. For getting the formula, you would have known what is the charge of these things and you would have subtracted. Now I'm doing the reverse. I know what is the salt formula. Now I can do the reverse of that. Whatever is the number here, put to the cation, and whatever the number is here, put it to the anion. You are going to get the anion and cation if you're finding it very difficult. Okay, now obviously what I have to do, I have to this thing for the cation, you add OH minus. Now you don't get CaOH is the formula. Don't do that. Again, you swap Ca2 plus OH minus, you're dropping CaOH twice. Right? Same way. PO4 3 minus H plus would have been, again swap, you will get H3PO4. This is phosphoric acid. Okay. Aditi, did you understand now, Kana? Is everything okay? Atharva, everybody's okay? Cool. Very good. Very good. Right. Okay. Fine. May I have one more example? I want everybody to give me an answer, and then only I'm going to stop. Okay. say I have what salt can I give? Okay, say I give Na2SO4. Okay, acid, base. What are these? Come on, everybody participate. I don't want to call out names. Okay, everybody can participate. Right, so the salt is Na2SO4. What would have been the acid? What would have been this thing? First, try to get the cation anion. And then you will know what to do. Add H plus and OH minus to the anion and cation. You are going to get the answers. Okay, one answer is there. Yeah. Na plus is the cation, SO42 minus the anion. Absolutely correct, Sanjay Kumar. Yes, Harita, that's the answer. H2SO4 plus NaOH. Come on, everybody participate. Yeah, Na plus and SO42 minus. Yes, correct. Get me the salt. Get me the cation and anion, Arman. Sorry, get me this acid and base, Arman. Okay, I think it should be simple here. So if you're wondering about what is the anion and cation, say this 2 would have come here and this SO4 is 1 totally, right? So this would have gone to sodium, right? So basically you would have had Na plus and SO42 minus as your cation and anion. What do you do? Add H plus, so it will become H2SO4 and add OH minus to this, you would have formed NaOH. Right? Okay, so I would answer this H2SO4 and NaOH. One more example. I am really not satisfied with the amount of participation. Okay, say I give I give okay magnesium okay, something I should give, no? Say I give calcium nitrate. Okay, CaNO3 twice. Calcium nitrate. I think by this time it should be very easy for you to predict what is the salt and what is the base. See, what is the acid and what is the base. Yeah, correct. Last one, H2SO4 and NaOH. Absolutely. Yeah, talk about this calcium nitrate. Calcium nitrate, acid and the base. CaOH twice plus HNO3. Others. Ca2 plus is the cation. SO4 2 minus. Where is SO4 2 minus coming? All I have is only CaNO3 twice anu. Correct. NO3 minus. Yes, is that anion? Okay, any other answers anybody has? Okay, I hope people are still trying. CaCO3 plus HNO3, very interesting answer. Actually, it's, I would not say it's wrong, Harita. Okay, CaCO3 I know is a weak base, I know HNO3 is acid, right? It works, definitely it works. Right, but in this case, HNO3 acid CaOH, check the formula, Arman. Yeah, sign you correct. CaOH twice is the formula. Right? Absolutely, guys. Very good, very good. I'm so happy. Right. Okay. So what I was telling is something. Yeah, the special case. Look at this. I think it's Harita, right? Harita only gave the answer like that. CaCO3. Okay. So the thing is, yes, it will work. Right. So CaCO3 plus HNO3 will give you CaNO3 twice plus water plus only one extra thing you will get, that is my carbon dioxide. Right. Now, same reaction can also be done with CaOH twice plus HNO3, except that you are going to get calcium nitrate and water, but carbon dioxide will not be produced. Right. But this cannot be a wrong answer, what you told, because I know these are basic in nature. Right. Calcium carbonate is basic in nature. Right. That's a good guess. That's a good answer. Anyways, nice try. Right. So I hope everybody now will be able to guess what will be the acid and what will be the base used. Okay. Now, if you understand what is the acid and base used, then predicting whether the salt is acidic or basic is very easy. Okay. Because I told you okay, let me tell you this, right? We'll again repeat this point. For an acidic salt, I would have used a strong acid and a weak base. Right. Now, for a basic salt, I would have used a weak acid and a strong base. Okay. For a basic salt, the basic property should dominate. So I would have used a strong base and a weak acid. Same way, for an acidic salt, I want the acidic property to dominate. So I would have had a strong acid and a weak base. Right. Now, like we saw so many examples, right? And I told you, okay, we start with aluminum nitrate. Okay, now look at this. Aluminum nitrate, we found out that the acid was aluminum hydroxide and the base was aluminum hydroxide and the acid was HNO3. Now looking at these two, can you tell me what kind of salt aluminum nitrate is, whether it's acidic or basic? First tell me, HNO3 is a strong acid or weak acid? HNO3 is a strong acid or weak acid? Now you can unmute yourself and speak, people, if no problem.
Sir, it is acidic.
It is obviously. HNO3 is an acid. I'm asking you whether it's a strong acid or a weak acid.
So strong acid.
Absolutely. Right? It's a strong acid. And what about aluminum hydroxide? Whether it's strong base or weak base?
So it's a weak base.
Absolutely. Right. So when I have a strong acid, weak base, what should have been the salt? Acidic or basic?
So acidic.
Absolutely. Because you read the acid is strong and the base is weak. So aluminum nitrate would have been an acidic salt. Okay. Right. Fine. Actually, before this, maybe I will give you the list of strong acids and weak acids. Strong acids, say HCl. You can note this down, people, very important. Okay, these four are the common strong acids. And weak acids, right? I would have had, say, HCN, H2CO3. Yeah, only these two you can remember, not a big deal. And even CH3COOH, acetic acid is a weak acid. Okay, so these three comes under weak acids. And when I go for strong bases, right, only three are there: NaOH, KOH, and CaOH twice, right? And all the other bases, weak bases, all others, whatever the aluminum hydroxide, iron hydroxide, all these things, whatever the magnesium hydroxide, this is thrice, right? All of these comes under weak bases. Okay, fine. Anyways, we'll continue now. What is the time? Okay, fine. Maybe one more example we'll see and then we'll wind up. Okay, now look at this. I have NH4Cl, right? Now, okay, actually, okay, fine. Now we understood the acid was HCl and the base was NH4OH. So HCl was what acid? Strong or weak?
Strong, sir.
Strong, sir.
NH4OH is a weak base or strong base? I didn't tell you there, but I told you other than the three, all the others are weak. Okay, so NH4OH also is a weak base. So what would have been the salt, acidic or basic now? Acid is strong,
Acidic.
base is weak. Acidic again, absolutely. Okay, fine. One more example and then we'll wind up for today. NaCN, look at this. We found out that the acid was HCN and the base was NaOH. HCN is strong or weak?
Sir, weak acid.
Weak acid, very good. Now, NaOH is the strong base or weak base?
Strong base.
Strong base. So what would have been the salt? Acidic or basic?
Basic.
Basic.
Absolutely. Right. I hope everybody gets this. Once you understand what is the acid and what is the base, and obviously you should know whether it's a strong acid or strong base or weak acid or weak base. Once you understand that, whichever is strong, or whether the acid is strong, then it's an acidic salt. When the base is strong, it becomes a basic salt. Okay, so we'll see more examples in next class. Okay, so I think for today we'll wind up. Okay, so any questions? Oh, I think so many answers came. So it's chat. Okay, good. Everybody's answering. Very good. I'm sorry I didn't see. Right, all your answers are correct. Absolutely. Okay.
Sir, what
fine.
is the formula for milk of magnesia?
MgCO3, magnesium carbonate.
Okay, sir.
Okay, right, fine. So I think I will stop here for today, people. Next week we'll see. We'll continue. Okay, till then, I think you can start solving your book back exercises. Okay, I like last time I will ask you anytime. Like say I'll give you some time and I'll ask you to submit to me. Okay, fine. So let me stop here for today. Fine. Thank you so much, people. We'll meet again
Thank you,
next
sir.
class.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.